I left off last time talking about how I found myself in Vietnam. This started when I was working for a large company and a coworker was from Vietnam. I decided I wanted to try going there, so I took 2 months off of work. I ended up in a village near Vinh Long, south of Ho Chi Minh City. This village at the time could only be reached one of two ways. One was to hire a scooter to take you down this 2-foot wide path with these 2-foot wide bridges across the rivers. And the other was a water taxi, just a really thin boat that had a little motor on the end of it. The boat was definitely the better way to go, as it was definitely less sketchy. Often across these skinny bridges, they would be damaged and repaired with just wooden planks, or a pedestrian would try to cross at the same time and you'd be riding that edge and it was crazy. Or the bridge just wouldn't be repaired at all and you'd have to end up taking a water taxi anyways, which normally would be waiting right at the bottom of the broken bridge. In the village, I ended up with the family and just ended up renting a bed out of their home. A small wooden shack with the breeze blowing through it at the edge of a rice paddy. The most relevant part of this story comes with my morning routine living in this little shack. I would get up with the father early light and we'd head to the village square. There he would order me a soup called pho and we'd have Vietnamese coffee and just enjoy the moment. The village would be so alive with all the men meeting in the morning for their coffee before their work, just laughing and having a good time, sitting around with each other. They often pointed at me, laughed, talked about me, but you know what? I loved it. A lady from the village would come up to me and she would say that she's a translator for the GI and she just wanted to practice English. So we would just love just sitting there and chatting. She would be the one that would introduce me to all the village elders. And one special gentleman, when she introduced him to me, everybody would be sitting there laughing and they'd be pointing at him going, VC, VC, VC. But honestly, that was in the past. And he ended up sitting with me every day for about 2 months and eating breakfast with me. Good times. The reason this is so relevant is because I met a young lady there and shortly after we got married and had 2 children, which I ended up having to be a single parent raising myself. But now my youngest is 21 and the very first thing that I thought of when he became independent was it's time to travel again. But this time I want to record my travels. I want to find those small villages again, rent out a nice little room, and then go and meet the elders in the little square where they all meet for breakfast and just have a good time and just be in the moment. I want to interview them and I want to tell their stories.